Hi there, this is Sam with Bulldog Rooter. I'm doing a video inspection today for 827 East 11th Avenue in Spokane, Washington. We're doing a video inspection of the main sewer line. I believe right now that I could be out in the city sewer. It looks like I could have pushed past where the connection for this house is at, so I'm going to pull back and just see. But what's making me believe that is we'll see to your left-hand side of the screen, there's another pipe that ties into this pipe. We are in 4-inch concrete tile, 4-inch concrete. What usually happens with concrete is they come into 2 to 5 foot sections. Those sections will start to settle over time in the ground, and those seams for the sections will start to get offset, and you'll see root intrusions inside the line. But yeah, it definitely looks like something else is tying in right there. I must have just pushed past it or something because I couldn't see where this ties into the city. I'm just going to keep pulling back here and kind of see what we see. So like I was saying, we're in 4-inch concrete right now. We can see a little bit of a separating happening at this last seam, but luckily the section of pipe that's actually separating from the other one is actually stair-stepping down. I just pushed my camera past it. So it's not really obstructing water flow, it's just making a little waterfall inside the pipe. The concrete, from what I could push through and from what I could see, looks vaguely clean. I didn't really see any roots coming into this section. The concrete looks like it's in really good shape. The other half of this line, from what I was looking at, is clay tile pipe, and it's essentially the same thing as concrete, just a different material. Come in 2 to 5 foot sections as well, and they'll settle just like concrete does. Looks like towards the right-hand side of our screen, it'll be the top right-hand corner. You can kind of see just like a little bit of hairline roots kind of coming in at one of the seams, but nothing too major. And then at the top of the pipe right there is a little bit of root coming down, but that's super tiny. Not going to cause any issues or anything like that at all. Pushed out about 125 feet, and it's been a battle since about 70. Just going out inch by inch, so that's why I'm thinking I got to be in the city somewhere. Usually I can see where this connects to the city sewer. That I pushed past, apparently. I couldn't find it. Worst comes to worst, if we don't see it in this video inspection, I'm going to try and push back out and see how long this line is. So it looks like right here we have just a little bit of settling inside the line, where water is just kind of sitting just a little bit, but nothing too major. It looks like it still has grade. The pipe is more flat than anything now. Grade usually means that the pipe's, draining downhill and whatnot. That section just looks a little flat to me. But as far as the concrete goes, I mean, it looks brand new. It looks really, really clean. I don't see any issues there at all. I pulled out a very large amount of roots in this line. I was called out because the sewer line was backed up, and I cabled it, and now we're doing a video inspection just to see if there's any bigger issues with it, and so far it's looking pretty good, so that's some good news. And then right here is another line that's connecting in towards the right-hand side and popping down into this concrete. And so far the concrete's looking great. You can see up towards the top of the pipe, which is going to be where the water's not, towards the right-hand side of the screen. There's like swirl marks and debris up there. That's just from my cables swinging around the edges of the pipe and cleaning everything up. Looks like we got going around a turn right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So right here is the end of the sewer line. Now why I missed it, just a little bit of roots. It was just hard to see before. So right now we're sitting at about 70 feet right here. This is the end of the sewer line. I guess I just pushed through it. There's a little bit of roots left on that side. That's looks like it's kind of barely hanging on. Yeah, I was having issues getting over this spot. I think one of the main issues right here is where the 4-inch the 4-inch clay tile connects to the 4-inch concrete. You can see that it looks like the tile separated from the concrete a little bit. So there's a lip that you see the water kind of pushing up and over. And with tree roots right there and all that stuff, it's going to get stuff caught up and make it back up fairly easy. So good news is your line's only about 70 feet long, which is fairly short, pretty easy for maintenance. The roots hanging out in there, really not too major. It's normal to see them kind of on the sides of the pipe and whatnot, but the amount of roots that I pulled out, it was encasing the whole entire pipe. It's looking pretty good right here. We have another separation. I can see just from where my camera starts to kind of go down and then we poke back up a little bit. The separation is making another small waterfall. It's not really creating any issue or anything like that at all. So like I said, the tile is just like concrete. You know, comes in 2 to 5 foot sections. The sections start to settle, and then we'll start to see roots in all these seams of the sections of pipe. We have a little bit of root intrusion right there, just tiny. Most of it's gone completely. From snaking through this, it looks like the amount of roots that I pulled out was about the amount of roots inside the line. It looks cleaned up pretty well. Looks like we're hitting another separation right here where it is technically obstructing the flow of water, making it kind of get stuck in this hole. You know, it's really normal to see clay tile do that. What I get worried about is when I can't get my camera over it or something like that, and I would feel stuck with my snake trying to get through it. It makes it a lot harder. But yeah, so far not really seeing any big issues or anything like that. It looks like the tile is chipped inside the line a little bit in specific spots. That can be caused for a number of things. But one thing it could be is someone could have put like a what's called a hydro jetter in here and turned it on to a little bit high of a PSI, and that'll clean out roots and whatnot. It's pretty much a pressure washer that you put through your line, and that'll clear out roots, but at the same time it'll make it, you know, kind of chip the tile a little bit. It's not going to cause any really big issue with the tile at all, but you know, it's just kind of an explanation of what's going on there. So it looks like we have another separation right here. I'd think that just because this pipe starts to go down in this section, a lot of times they didn't have, back in the old days, a way to make the tile pipes turn, so they would put them purposely offset so they could go downhill and make sure that they keep up with grade and whatnot. I believe that's what's going on in this section. We have a little bit of root intrusion left on the left-hand side of the screen, but nothing too major. You can see a little bit of roots left there. Another very minor separation, nothing big to worry about, but so far the pipe's looking really clean. A little bit more roots at the top left-hand corner of the pipe, which will be towards the middle top of the screen. Another minor separation. It's normal to see it do this over time. Just a little bit more roots up at the top there. Unfortunately, going in with a 2-inch blade into a 4-inch line is the most I can do, because the access inside the house is a 3-inch cast iron clean out. The only bit I can fit inside of it is a 2-inch blade. So what I do is I put that kink on the end of my cable and kind of use that to scrape the walls of the pipe and get everything cleaned up. We got another minor separation right here. Nothing to worry about. Doesn't seem bad at all. And then right here, it looks like we kind of have a bigger separation. It could have been also kind of repair in the tile, because what it looks like is we go over this lip that's kind of holding water right here, and then we just drop down into a bigger piece of pipe. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. As long as roots aren't growing in this area, it should be okay. I'm not seeing anything that used to be there or anything like that at all. A little bit more roots left in there. It's normal to see it like that. It's looking great. Another little bit of roots hanging on and another minor separation, but once again, it's nothing to worry about. It's looking pretty good. Pipe's looking a little flat in this area. Nothing too bad. A little bit more root intrusion up at the top of the pipe, which is going to be the opposite of where the water is. But once again, really minor. It looks like they all got cleaned up about as good as they can get. So right here, I believe that at one point the line could have collapsed in this section. Could be root intrusions. Could be a number of things. But what somebody did is they replaced a section of this pipe. So there's 4-inch clay tile going into what's called ABS pipe, which is stuff we put in nowadays. It's a very good pipe. It's put together with cement fittings. And then right here they switched from ABS into what's called PVC. It's a 4-inch PVC. And what they did was they put a it'd actually probably be 3-inch PVC. Yeah, it is. It goes 3-inch PVC and then over to the 4-inch ABS, and they put a bushing right here to size it up to make it bigger so they could connect onto the other pipe. And whoever put this in did it a little messed up. So what we're seeing right here, I'm going to pull back to where this kind of starts. I'm going to get into the cast iron real quick, which is going to be inside the house. So right here is the cast iron. So as we push out, this would be the west side of the house is where the sewer line exits. And you know, going underground right here, we go out to the cast iron, and this is the 3-inch cast iron, which is inside the house. So right where we go around this turn, whoever put this in, put it in what's called backgraded, meaning that they didn't put it in at a downward slope. So it's going to be always holding water in this section. This should be classified as what's called a belly. What will happen over time is the more you flush your toilets and any solid things that go down your line are going to get stuck in this section, kind of like a little puddle. And just increased water flow and stuff will help stuff get pushed out of this area. But whoever put it in backgraded, just like I was explaining before. And then right here, it looks like the connection to their pipe isn't quite right. It's very offset. That could be the whole issue. But there is definitely a problem here in this section. As you can see, the two pieces of PVC just aren't quite connected anymore. And it's not quite looking like dirt right there. What they could have put on this is called a Fernco, which is just like a piece of rubber with 2 hose clamps, which you're allowed to put in nowadays underground. And I think if they put that in this section, they didn't make sure that their pieces of pipe were butted up correctly, and that's one of the reasons that your line could be holding water in this section. But essentially it's going to hold water at all times right there. Other than that, the pipe looks almost perfect. I mean, the clay tile is not separated in a whole bunch of areas. I'm not seeing any cracks inside of it or anything like that. Cast iron is usually, it's still put in nowadays. It's a very good pipe. It'll definitely keep up for a while. This is the cast iron we're in now. What I usually look for is cracks or just very large amounts of rust debris and stuff, and so far I'm not seeing any of that at all. But we should be pulling out of the clean out here shortly. That's where the upstairs and stuff ties in, and here's a picture of our clean out in the basement right here. And once again, that was Sam with Bulldog Rooter, and that's going to conclude your video inspection. Thank you.